What is up, everybody? This is Alan, LCS Picks Heffelfinger here. I am going to do my very first breakdown of an MLS DFS slate today. I want to be clear about something up front. I'm not a super practice player at MLS DFS. I do watch every game in MLS, and I have started to try to handicap it, and I have some ideas about important stats. I know a lot about the teams and who's on them, stuff like that. So I think I have a good foundation for MLS DFS, and I saw that no one else was making this kind of video on YouTube, so I wanted to give it a shot, and we can kind of learn and grow together at MLS DFS together. So with that said, I wanted to break down this slate for you guys. But before I went into like who I'm targeting or which teams I think are going to win, I just wanted to go through the scoring on DraftKings for DFS soccer because I know it's not the most popular sport there. So you can see that the main driver of points in soccer DFS are goals and assists, right? 10 points for goals, 6 points for assists. Basically, every team that wins in MLS DFS is going to have some goal scorers and assisters on it. Assisters. Anyway, I'm not going to worry too much about like shots on goals, crosses, that kind of stuff yet. I think that because goals and assists make up such a large proportion relative to those, I don't think those are going to drive points that much. And so I also just haven't done the full research on that. The other thing I'm looking at is clean sheets and wins. So goalkeepers get +5 points for wins. So whatever team I think is most likely to win, I'll probably build my lineup out from there with their goalkeeper, and then I'll stack that goalkeeper with some players from the team because if they're gonna win, they're gonna score goals. So I want to have goal score. The defenders also get a bonus for clean sheets. So if you think that there's maybe a team that definitely not going to score on a slate, like I think there might be one on this slate, then it looks like you should play a defender from the opposing team there. Okay. So with some of that kind of theory about stacking out of the way, let's just go through the slate and talk through it. So the first game is Atlanta visiting Inter Miami. I do not expect this game to be very high scoring. I think both of these teams are kind of boring right now. They just like can't get it clicking on the offensive end. Atlanta just got rid of Pity Martinez, who, say what you will about his time in MLS, was a dangerous player in South America and was kind of the main driver of their offense. So I think they're pretty lost without him. And then Joseph Martinez is down for the season, and Joseph Martinez was like, you know, if you watch MLS at all, you know that he's just an insane goal scorer. And without him, they don't really have anyone to score goals. So I am going to avoid Atlanta entirely here. They have a team total set at over 1.5 at +195. So basically, you're getting 2-1 on them to score 2 goals, which is not good from a DFS standpoint because the books don't expect them to score goals, and the books usually know about this stuff. Miami, on the other hand, I could see scoring a goal here. Their team total is set at over 1.5 -105. So they are favored a tiny bit to maybe score 2 goals in this one. I don't really see 2 goals from Miami. They haven't scored 2 goals very often this season. They just like Atlanta don't have anyone to finish shots or finish off chances for them. They just don't like have a reliable forward as their main goal scorer. Yeah. So like here we got Pellegrini, Carranza, and John. And if John is your main goal scorer in MLS, you got a problem. So yeah, I'm not too interested in the Atlanta side of things. Miami's a little interesting for a defender because they could shut Atlanta out. I actually think that they might be the most likely team to shut someone out. On this slate, Atlanta's just a mess. They got a new coach. Pity Martinez is gone, everything I talked about before. So I think I would play Ben Sweat here if I was going to play any defender. Ben Sweat gets up and down the field. He's a right back. He had a few assists with New York City FC, so you get that side of things. Then, he could also keep a clean sheet in this one, which would give you that extra 3 points for defenders on a clean sheet. So I think I would look at Ben Sweat. And then for goal scoring with Miami, I kind of like Lewis Morgan here. I don't think that Rodolfo Pizarro deserves to be a higher salary than Lewis Morgan. Lewis Morgan actually has more key passes than Pizarro. And key passes is just a stat kept on like important passes in a game, most of them that lead to assists. And MLS actually counts secondary assists too. So if you pass to the person who makes the assist, that if you pass in a way that leads to an assister, it's kind of a weird thing to think about, but essentially if you're the second person to pass before the goal, you might get an assist too in MLS. And so having more key passes is a pretty good indicator that he might do for an assist. And then he also has 15 shots on the season, which is quite a lot for his position. So he could be due for a goal in this one. And he scored goals when he was in Scotland before he came to MLS too. So I think Lewis Morgan's a decent play at 88,100. All right, well, that's it for that kind of boring game. I do think that there is an opportunity that game goes 0-0. I will definitely be betting the under 2.5 total in that game. So yeah, just not a great DFS game generally. The next one is between Dallas and Minnesota. Dallas is going to Minnesota. Dallas is drawn twice on the road so far this season, and then Minnesota has won one at home and lost one at home. So these two teams, I think, could both score goals in this game. They both have talented attackers and kind of play with an attacked mindset more so than the last two teams. The team totals here, Minnesota's over 1.5 is set at plus 100, so they're basically a coin flip to score 2 goals in a game. I could definitely see Minnesota scoring 2 goals in the game. In this game, they just blew out RSL 4-0, and their offense seemed to start getting clicking in that game. So Minnesota's a pretty interesting play here. And then FC Dallas over 1.5 set at plus 170. So they don't expect FC Dallas to score 2 goals, but I could see 1 goal because Minnesota has some backline issues right now. With Iko Para out for however long he is, he was the MLS Defender of the Year last year, and just like a really central piece to their defense. And they gave up 3 goals to the Houston Dynamo, who are maybe a better offensive team than we thought, but still not like they're like LAFC or something. So I do think that Minnesota's backline is a little bit shaky, and so I could see Dallas scoring in this one too. So I think I'm going to look for players on both teams here. The player that I like the most for Minnesota for sure is Mason Toye here at 4,700. He is the starting center forward of a team that just won 4-0, and his salary is if he's like a bench warmer. And so I don't understand this at all. Amaria does have more fantasy points per game, and he has more goals on the season, but right now Toye seems to be in favor. And Toye's just a good prospect. Like, he's big, physical center forward, and I like him a lot. I think he could score a goal in this game for sure. I expect him to start. I expect Minnesota to score, so you gotta play their forward, especially when he's at 4,700. On the Dallas side of things, I like Jesus Ferreira at 5,800. Jesus Ferreira is just a proven MLS player. He gets assists, he gets goals, he's dangerous, he can beat people off the dribble, he can make the final pass, he has really good expected goals and expected assist numbers. So he hasn't scored yet this season. I think that he could play here for sure. Those might be my only 2 in this game, just because I'm not entirely sure who is going to come out on top. in this one, so it could be that you're on the wrong side of things and then you're kind of screwed. So I like Toronto Montreal quite a bit more because I really like Toronto in this game. Toronto is the heaviest favorite on the board. They're like minus 117 to win the game, which puts them at over 50% to win the game in a three-way money line. So the books also expect them to win this game. They just lost to Montreal. They just lost to Vancouver, who are two teams they should pretty much beat every time out. They are way more talented. They spend more money. They've have a better proven track record in MLS. So I think they're going to be coming in on fire on this in this one. Like I think they're embarrassed about losing those two games. So I think this is a nice get right spot for them. And they also this is basically a playoff game for them because if they don't win here, they don't make the Canadian Championship, which has a CONCACAF Champions League spot on the line. Whatever. What you need to understand is that Toronto needs to win this game. And when Toronto needs to win games, they generally win games. Like last season, they were not a great regular season team, and then they just pulled it together for the MLS playoffs, and they got all the way to MLS Cup. So they might take some games off, but this is not going to be one of them. So I'm going to look to stack Toronto here because I really believe in them to win this game, and I also believe in them to score more than one goal. The team total for them is set at over 1.5 minus 127. So the book agrees with me. They think they're going to score 2 goals or more here. And if you think that Toronto's going to score 2 goals or more, you gotta like Josie Altidore at 7,200. They have Akinola up there at the top because he scored a bunch of goals in the bubble, but with Altidore back from injury, and he looked pretty good in his last 2 games. I think he was pretty unlucky to not score in the first matchup between Toronto and Montreal. He had 2 basically point blank shots saved by the Montreal goalkeeper. So I think Josie's due, and when Josie scores goals and he gets confident, he often scores more than one. I can think of tons of hat tricks where you can just tell that he's feeling himself that game. And so I'm hoping that Josie Altidore is going to be feeling himself for this game, and at salary 7,200, he's really good value there, I think. The other position I like the Toronto team for is goalkeeping. Obviously, I like them to win. I think there's a chance they could shut out Montreal. I'm not like in love with Montreal's attack. They're a decent team, but they don't have like a true game breaker. And so I think there's a shot that Toronto keeps them off the board here. So we could get both the win bonus and the clean sheet bonus with Westberg. So he's definitely your goalkeeper for this slate, I think. And then I would try and play a defender from them too, someone who gets involved in the attack, someone who, could get that clean sheet bonus as well. So let's play Aro. I like him at 4,700, just a little bit below Rhea. If you can fit Larea, that's basically the exact same argument for both of them. Toronto likes to get their fullbacks involved in the attack. They could get assists. They occasionally take shots, but yeah, you want to get those like wing backs who are up there making crosses, up there in the box during set pieces, that kind of stuff. So Oro is a good play here at 4,700. So yeah, I think that basically wraps up my thoughts about the slate. One more time, going through players I like in Atlanta, Miami. I like you should get a Miami defender, probably Ben Sweat, and then if you're gonna play someone goal scorer, maybe Lewis Morgan. In Dallas, Minnesota, I like Mason Toy. I think Mason Toy is a must own in every single lineup. Even if you don't like the rest of my plays here, I think Mason Toy, you got to have him at 4,700. That's insane value for the guy who is going to get chances for a team who I liked also. And then Jesus Ferreira, I just like him because he's the lowest salary of the 3 Dallas forwards, and I don't like any of them more than the other to score goals or assist goals. And then in Toronto, Montreal, I like a full Toronto stack. We like Josie Altidore. We like Oro or Lorea if you have the money for it. And then we want to get for sure. Westberg's the best goal play. All right. Well, thank you very much. Let me know what you think in the comments or on Twitter. Get at me there if you're playing along. And yeah, I would love to share ideas with anyone who wants to do that. And I'm planning on doing these at least once a week now, I think. And just breaking it down, and we'll go through this learning process together. All right.